good Tuesday evening to you. It is a fresh edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. We have an update on our snow forecast for late this week and much more to talk about this evening, so let's not waste any time. And before we get to the actual weather, I wanted to talk about some geological happenings across the region this morning. Nothing that was felt by any human beings across our TV viewing area, but there's a little rumble along the Lake Erie shoreline this morning. This was actually an earthquake that occurred near the Lake Erie shore, 2.8 magnitude earthquake at 8:20 this morning. This was picked up on seismographs across the region, but this far to the south in most of our television viewing area, in our market, if you will, this was not strong enough to be felt by any humans, even though the seismographs did pick it up. I'm going to put a post on my weather blog this evening, ericwfmj.com, all about the year 2021 in weather. We're going to do a year-end review a few days late, but we're going to get to it this evening. One of the things we're going to be talking about, of course, the temperature trends during the year 2021, and it was a little bit back and forth in 2021. Of course, the warmth dominated for most of the year. We had 4 cooler-than-average months, although July just barely so. The most legitimately cold month compared to the average was actually February, but May was chilly, and November was pretty chilly compared to the average. But look at some of these bigger numbers in the plus territory, including a fast start to spring in March, a very warm late summer and early autumn period, accompanied by some unusual severe weather pretty late in the season in the month of October. And then, of course, the year ended on a very balmy note during the month of December. Again, ericwfmj.com, my weather blog. I'm going to put up a post later on this evening of all sorts of fun charts and graphs and details about last year's very, very interesting weather. What we're looking at here is a high-resolution satellite picture. I sometimes show you these centered on our region, northern Ohio, and over Lake Erie. This is from the low-orbiting, what's called the MODIS satellite. And the reason I'm showing you this is pretty cool. This is the snow from yesterday. Clear skies over the mid-Atlantic today illuminated that fresh snow cover, and it's just amazing how sharp the cutoff was between snow and no snow across New Jersey, across parts of the Delmarva Peninsula, the D.C. metro area, and heading over to West Virginia. You went from having nothing to several inches in a matter of a handful of miles. And of course, you may have seen some of the footage of the cars stranded for over 20 hours on I-95 in Virginia, south of Washington, D.C., since yesterday. It wasn't necessarily the amount of snow from the storm, but the rate in which the snow fell. It made it impossible for road crews to get a handle on it, and then there were accidents backing things up, and traffic did not move along parts of I-95 for almost a full day. It sounds like a nightmare to me. All right, back here at home, it was a better day today. We had more in the way of sunshine. Instead of staying in the 20s, we saw temperatures rebound into the middle and upper 30s this afternoon. Here's our next weather maker. It's out across the Midwest. I have the isobars plotted up this evening, the lines of equal pressure, and these lines are tightening up across the upper Midwest this evening, indicative of gusty winds across the Dakotas, parts of Nebraska, and some snow is breaking out across parts of the northern tier of states as well. As this pushes east, it's going to have a winter weather threat. It's going to have a wind threat coming to the east. Winter weather advisories are up from Minneapolis to Chicago. Winter storm warnings with lake effect in parts of the UP of Michigan, western parts of Michigan, around Grand Rapids. And then winter storm watches are up in western New York, where they are going to get pounded by heavy lake effect snow Thursday into Thursday night. Probably a foot or more across parts of the Buffalo metro area coming up Thursday to Thursday night. Closer to home, it'll be a wind issue tomorrow. Wind advisories are up for Cleveland and Mansfield and Fort Wayne and Detroit, and getting into the far northern suburbs of Columbus as well. No wind advisories here locally, but I do think we are going to see some gusty winds tomorrow, averaging 30 to 35, maybe even 40, maybe a 45 mile per hour gust, something that can't be ruled out. It's going to be just a noticeably breezy to at times windy day for us tomorrow. The clouds are going to win the battle, and while there could be a sprinkle or a flurry in the afternoon, not looking for much precipitation ahead of this front, and it's behind this front. Temperatures will crash tomorrow night. After reaching the lower 40s tomorrow afternoon, we'll wake up Thursday morning with temperatures in the teens, wind chills mostly in the single digits. All right, let's talk about our system for Thursday night into Friday. This is something we've been tracking for a handful of days now. I've been keeping you up to date on some of the model trends, some of the forecast trends, and the trends certainly since we last talked last evening on Weather for Weather Geeks has been for a flatter system, a weaker system, and therefore not a very strong system, not a very big snow chance for us, at least blockbuster system for us. I do think there's going to be some snow that tries to fall here Thursday night, but it's not going to be much. And this is our in-house model here, and you can see by Friday morning, it already is scooting this low offshore, and we don't have much left other than some lake effect flurries by early in the day Friday. So this is going to be a quick hitter, and I'm not looking for much. Here's a look at the current model spread for the heart of our television viewing area. This line is the NAM model, and it's kind of an outlier at this point. It shows inch to inch and a half, but most of our modeling is now under a half an inch for the heart of our TV viewing area with our upcoming snow. So here's what we've done as far as an opening bid for the snow forecast. The lake effect, again, aimed at the Buffalo area, over a foot in some spots, but that's way up there, closer to home. In this gray area in light blue, we're talking mostly an inch or less. Now, could someone try to get closer to Pittsburgh? Yeah, but small chance, I think. For most of our television viewing area, if you can watch us on TV, on an actual television, if you get us on cable or satellite, and you're not just watching us on an app, we're probably looking at an inch or less for most of us out of this. That being said, it's going to be cold when the snow is trying to fall tomorrow night, so every flake can try to stick, and we are looking for the possibility of some travel issues. I think the best chance for some impactful travel issues will be the farther south and east you are. So the closer to east of Liverpool, and then especially the closer you travel to Steubenville, to Wheeling, to Pittsburgh, to DuBois, PA, over towards Franklin, Oil City, and then into central PA, State College, Bellefonte, down to Altoona, Johnstown. Those are the places that will probably be having more issues tomorrow night than here locally. The farther north and west you are, especially if you're not going to be messing with the lake effect up towards I-90, if you're traveling from our local area up the Ohio Turnpike closer to Cleveland, out I-76 closer to Akron, if you're heading west, not looking for much out of this at all Thursday night. But either way, it's going to be cold on Friday. Temperatures will be no higher than the lower 20s Friday. Wind chills single digits to start, and probably no higher than the lower teens as we get into Friday afternoon. This is going to be a pretty blustery and cold end of the week, one of our harshest days of the winter season so far. This will be followed by a modest warming trend over the weekend, and then another cold shot early next week. As we talked about last evening, the cold shots will be more frequent, it looks like, in the month of January than in December. We could have another pretty good cold shot coming our way around mid-month. So another one early next week, and then another one maybe around the 16th to 17th. In between, maybe a modest warming trend for the second half of next week. Thanks for watching the Tuesday evening Weather for Weather Geeks video. Coming up tonight at 11, I'll have the latest on the snow potential for late this week, tomorrow's wind, and everything else you need to know. Don't forget you can get the forecast anytime on the Storm Tracker 21 app.